I was forced to give a customer a $20,000 change order for their paver project, and he was so upset. Here's what happened. Everything was going smoothly, just like every other demo thing we've ever done. And as you see, the boys are moving really fast, and we're getting all of the grass and all of the first layer of things that we need to haul away. And we did, using the ditch witch. And all of a sudden, Jesus started excavating for the paver area, and he noticed that the soil was so soft and mucky. And he called me right away and he said, T, come over here, we have a serious problem. So I jump over there, and I saw everything was like quicksand. It was literally just soaked from, I have no idea what. We were trying to figure it out. We looked for irrigation lines, drainage, nothing. We could not figure it out why that was happening. So I had to bring the customer out and show him, say, hey, we need to do a serious major change order because of the soil being too mucky. And he said, well, what happens if we just put it on? I'm like, we can, but I cannot warranty the pavers because it is almost a 90% chance that they will fail. And he said, what are we looking at? So I told him, every single semi truck we take out, I have to charge you $1,000, and every semi truck we bring in for base rock, I also have to charge you $1,000. And you see right here, the ditch witch is about 4 feet tall, I would say. The ditch witch, it's a 1550, it's about 4 feet tall. We had to dig 3 feet and get rid of all the muck. It was insane. This is one of the biggest soil corrections we've ever done, but it had to be done. It was a non-negotiable because I cannot do the job and warranty it and sleep good at night going home if I know that eventually it's going to fail. And that's the difference between being a good contractor and a horrible contractor. You have to look out for the best interest in yourself first, but also the homeowner. Now, if you're in business for the short term and you just want to get in, get out, yeah, I wouldn't even tell the customer anything. I would have just done the pavers, took the money, and dipped out because it cost me a lot of time to do that. And it probably put me back about 3-4 days in labor. And I want to be in the game long term. I think long term of everything. I want to be in landscaping for 10, 20 years versus being in it for 2 years, making a lot of money and going bankrupt and like tarnishing my reputation and being the scumbag of my town. That's what I don't want to be. I want to be a very reliable and successful business owner. And that's why I always make sure to look out for the best interests of myself first. And when I do that, the customer also benefits heavily. We ended up taking out 5 semi trucks of soil and hitting them with another 5 semi trucks of base rock. And we put GeoGrid, I think we put 2 layers, first on the soil and then another one between the base rock just for cheap insurance. So now, one thing's for sure, those pavers ain't going nowhere. And on top of that, we really did try to figure out why it was happening, but we don't know. So right now you see the boys are putting in geo everywhere. And this fabric right here is super, super helpful because it's a structural fabric. Let's say something happens underneath the soil. Maybe there's some ground movement and something shifts. That fabric will hold everything in place and it's woven together so it's super strong. See, this is the second layer we put on. You don't have to do the second layer, but it's not even that expensive. So I found a place near me that buys it in containers, I think from China. And those containers come in and it's the cheapest place we've ever found for geotextile fabric. Like, it's about half the price of everywhere else and it's the same exact stuff. You know, not often do you get a homeowner that's just like, bro, this is a change order, let's do it. They have a good attitude about it. Nobody has a good attitude about a $20,000 change order. However, this case cannot be negotiated because the work has to be done. And the boys right now are installing a bunch of the drainage that are going from the downspouts. And you being a business owner, a lot of you guys don't even include this in your bids and you're leaving money on the table because you're installing a brand new paver patio. You're installing concrete, turf, grass. You're doing all that full landscape remodel and you're leaving out one of the main things for a clean landscape: drainage. You must route the drainage. In this case, we routed to the front yard where there's a big tree, and that tree had no water. If there was a massive rainstorm, all that water would go from the roof, because look how big the roof is. You have so many square foot on the roof that all that water has to go somewhere. What better way than to route it so you don't have a bunch of moldy stains over your brand new pavers, your brand new concrete, and you're also able to charge $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for drainage. And I've actually never had a customer say, why am I paying $4,000 for drainage? Because you need it. When I first got in the game, I was not charging for it, and I was leaving a lot of money on the table. So if I can give you a little piece of advice, charge for drainage in every single project, because it's the right thing to do and you can make a little coin. All right, now that we have the change orders out of the way, I'm going to put you on to something that I see a lot of people doing, and they are making a huge mistake in business, and it's costing them from growing, and also it's costing them so much money. I did this in the beginning, and every single time I was put in this situation, I wanted to rip my hair out, rip my eyeballs out, and just stop doing anything because it was so frustrating. A lot of you are always wondering, T, how do you deal with stress? How do you deal with stress? Little inside tip. I don't actually have any stress. My life is perfect. There are moments in my days where I'm being tested in certain areas. However, that can easily be solved in a couple of minutes, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes. But most of you are running around and you're so anxious about being in business that you are not really thinking clearly, and you're making a lot of mistakes. Example, your very first year in business, you should never, ever, ever do more than one job site at a time. And at the end of the video, you're going to find out why this is important, because I'm going to give you a really good example, visual proof of another contractor doing this. When I got in the game, I was like, you know what, dude, I don't really know much, and I don't want to make the mistake of taking on 2 jobs at once, because what if I make a mistake on both of them and it's going to cost me a lot of money? See, what a lot of guys do when they get in the game, they start doing one project, and then another customer calls and he's like, well, I have to deliver the product for this customer because this customer wants me to do it right now, and I'm already doing a job, so I'm just going to split my guys into 2 crews, and we're going to do both jobs, and I'm going to make twice the amount of money. Everything's going to go perfect. I'm going to be the biggest dick on the block. And guess what? The complete opposite happens. You're doing one job site very well because you're babysitting it and everything's going fine. And then you split up in 2 crews. Not only do your 2 crews that you just created out of nowhere are not very well trained, and they don't know the culture in your business, and you don't even know how to manage 2 crews. Now you're forced to be running around with your head up your ass like a chicken, and you're going from one job to another. You're going to Home Depot, paver yard. You are becoming a driver. And all you're doing is driving and getting materials for these guys because they're just saying, we need this, we need this, we need this. And the order of the project is not going in the correct steps. And just so you know, when you first start a project, the demolition goes well on everything. And you're going to be doing dump runs. You're going to be a full-time driver. And what I really need you to do, instead of being a full-time driver, you need to be a full-time project manager and babysitter. You have to be on the job site. In Goking, I have a rule that when you first start, you are to be at a job site for 6 to 8 hours of the entire day. That's right. You like, T, this is crazy. I'm the owner of the company. Why would I be on the job site 6 to 8 hours? Because if you are not, mistakes will happen. You are, like, let's be honest, your first year, second year, third year, you're a complete idiot. You don't even deserve the right to be on another job site because you don't know what you're doing. And there is no algorithm for experience. You must stay, you must learn, you must deliver a good product to the customer. And if you see right now this job, you're like, T, you're not even in these videos. Do you even come on the job site? I actually do come on the job site. I come about 10 minutes every single day. Do I have to? No, I don't. But I choose to because I need to be hardwired. I need to be tapped into the project so I can see what's going on. Because when I'm not plugged in, mistakes happen. And this is why I create a big Telegram group. It's like a WhatsApp, iMessage, and every single job has it. And the boys, the crew leader for in this instance, it's Jesus. He messages pictures about 3-4 times a day, one time in the morning, one time before break, one time before lunch, and then another time right before they leave. And this really puts me in because I can see what's going on without actually me being there. And to be honest, to your surprise, I catch a lot of things from pictures and videos because the boys, they are focused in the job, and I am looking from an eagle eyes view. I'm looking from like the top, and I can see things when it's out of line, something's not straight, they're doing something in the wrong order, what's going on with this, and I always have questions, and I'm always texting them back. And this has really, really got me to a point where I'm able to really manage the job, but from being at a distance. Now, it's still very important for you to go and show up to the job site every single day. And this is why it's important for you to start building out your personal brand. A lot of you some of you guys are haters, to be honest with you. You're like, T, all you do is make TikToks and you're making a lot of money from social media. Yeah, so what? You can do the same thing. Why aren't you building out your personal brand? Why are you not going out there making videos for your customers, showing your projects, showing the customer what you guys can do? Remember, when I started doing videos on YouTube, it was not to have an audience be picked up by you, the landscaping community. It was so that I could prove to the homeowners that I could do their $100,000 job. And then a complete different audience picked it up. It was you guys. So for me, YouTube was actually a complete accident because when I first started, if you go back to my very first video, you're going to see I look like a baby. I have no beard. I was skinny. I was super, super skinny. I look like a dork. And customers, every single time I presented them with a $100,000 project, they were like, this kid's capping. He can't do my job. And I got really, really upset every single time they didn't believe in me. And I don't blame them because I had no track record. So I started to do videos. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a time lapse. So when I sent them a bid with a video example of what their job is going to look like, something similar, they can't cap on me. And that objection that they have of me not being able to do the job would no longer hold water. So when you get in the game of landscaping, make sure that you take your advice from people that are actually doing it and actually walking the walk, because a lot of these people that are trying to teach you stuff online, if they have a cool lawn care business, that's fine. But if you want to be a landscaper, take advice from people that are doing landscaping. Like this job right here is a full-blown landscaping project. And if you want to further your education, because it's very important, I'm doing an event with a very special person named Grant Cardone, December 2nd and 3rd in Scottsdale, Arizona, where I'm going to teach you every single thing about landscaping, scaling, growing your business, getting the right customers, but most importantly, growing your company the right way. The link is in the description. Here's a little clip of me and Grant talking about the event.
Why the landscaping business is so good, bro. Yeah. It's a bunch of little tiny players. They don't know how to sell, they don't know how to market, they don't know how to scale. That's why I'm super excited about doing this thing we're doing in December.
In Scottsdale, Arizona. It's gonna be me, you, and Brandon teaching a bunch of landscapers how to scale.
And we can 10x your business like overnight. You guys out there that are sick and tired of freaking working your ass off and not making enough money, DM scale to this guy right here.
DM me scale on IG and I'll send you everything.
And then maybe we'll bring all these guys over here, man. We'll just party at my house.
That's a good idea.
You know, I like that idea.
Now you see over here, we are all the way complete, and unfortunately the cars are in the driveway, so I would show you the beauty of this whole entire job that we did, but the cars are here and the homeowner's not home. That's okay though. This is done. We dug 12 inches deep. You remember that. We fixed the entire level of this place. It was a mess because this used to dip down and all that stuff, so we fixed all that. And then you walk into the backyard. Now, this is not a crazy transformation that you're used to from Applewood landscaping. However, I would say this was a very good flip from really bad, super unorganized backyard to now super clean cut and very family friendly, where his kiddos can run and play in the grass. They can ride the scooters in here. We actually cleaned up this entire area because the toys were everywhere. The parents can hang out here. We put a fountain, 5 Indian laurels, and it's just super clean, you know? And look at this area. You and the kids can run here and play football. See that? You can't do that in your yard, but you can do it here. This area right here was requested by the homeowner. To me, like I'll do whatever the homeowner wants, but this doesn't really make sense to me. I would have much rather have put the money from this area over there by making the pavers larger. What I would have done is take the pavers from here and make pavers all the way down and not had this in a bigger area. But he really wanted this, so you got to give the people what they want. You know, you can make suggestions, but you have to, at the end of the day, you have to give the people what they want. Now, the most expensive part about this whole project was definitely this pergola. So we have 6x6 posts that are solid, not hollow, redwood, very, very, very nice posts. And then we bought this custom FX shade canopy cover deal. It's on a track. So all you have to do is come here, unwind this. It comes this way and this way. It's pretty cool. Now, this alone was $8 grand just for the thing itself to be manufactured and delivered here. And then the boys had to install it, which they did a fantastic job. And then check this out, electrical work. Now, we don't do electrical, but I have a electrician that does a fantastic job. These are the heater switches over there. Another receptacle, here's another one. And he put one up top, he put one down here. So in the front yard, I had told the customer in the beginning a little price on a walkway. And I told him, I think $12,000, but he said, it's too much money. And I said, I understand, but you got to think, whenever you do a walkway, it's a 3 to 4 foot path, and there's a lot of turns and curves, and there's a lot of cuts. So you're going to have a lot of labor that goes into the pathway versus a square like this. A square like this, all the labor is done on the outside, but it's big enough where it is not that big of a deal when it comes to the labor. But when you have a pathway that's 3 feet, ton of labor goes inside. This is why you have to price walkways and big driveways and big squares, rectangles, patios differently. Here, I'll explain to you why. This is big enough where you can charge normal. This is even big enough. This falls in that category of big enough where you can charge a normal square foot price. But when you get into this territory right here, this requires a ton of labor. This is where you have to understand as a business owner and someone that really has to pay attention to the numbers. This can make you lose all your money on what? Not materials, labor. It takes a lot longer. So what the homeowner did, I actually asked him about it. He's super cool. I asked him, how much did you get this for? And he said the guy did it for $7,000. But he's like, but one thing I did figure out is you guys pampered us. And I was like, what does that mean? And he's like, Applewood was here every single day, 5 days a week, and you guys just kept showing up. And I said, that's what we're known for, dude. We're here. You know what I mean? We show up. We won't leave the job until we are completely done with what we needed to do. Like, we left that job. Everything was complete. We were waiting for a pergola, that top piece, so we left. But this, like, we would have been done a long time ago. And he said these guys come in maybe 3 days a week for half a day. So they put in a full day and a half a week, which they probably got another 2-3 weeks left on this job. It's going to turn out okay. But one thing I pointed out to him, I said, hey, when the guys do this, make sure that they continue this border all the way around, which I don't think they're going to. Without further ado, that's the end of the video. I'm very glad you came here. I'm very glad you watched. Let me know what you think in the comments. Was this a good job or bad job? I feel like this job was similar to the work I used to do my first, second, third, fourth year. We will still do these jobs, but most of the jobs we do now are more high end. But I love these because they're fast, easy, and you don't have to babysit that much. Later.